Good morning. I have not done a day in the life in a while. It is Monday. It is my last week at my current rounding job. I am starting 2 new remote jobs, plus I will still be at the clinic. I start one job today and I start another job next week. So I just left my rounding job. I actually have already stopped going to 2 of the 3 facilities. I didn't plan on leaving completely, but I'll kind of give a little update in a minute about why I'm leaving altogether. But yeah, I was kind of backed into a corner, so I have to leave altogether. But that's okay. So I'm super excited, and when I get home, I will give you more of an update. Okay, so I'm in my shed office, and I actually just did my first visit, which was a no-show. Trying to find somewhere to put this. Okay, so job changes. So about a month ago, actually like a month and a half ago, I started applying for jobs, and I was done working in the nursing homes. I wanted to keep the job, which I go to inpatient psych. I didn't want to go to nursing homes anymore. They were picking on one of the other providers, and I was just like, I was over it too. Like, it's just a bunch of ugh. Like, I get it. The nursing homes are the patient's homes. That you don't have to do everything, but it's like the staff, like they're constantly going to ask me about patients' blood sugars. They're constantly going to refuse to take their insulin. It's just like you're on a hamster wheel and you're never getting off. I don't want to do that. So I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I got a couple remote jobs. That's great. I want to keep going to the third place I was going. Well, my boss basically was like, it sucks for her because her job is when there's not staff, you have to cover it. I gave her plenty of notice. She kept talking to me about how she didn't have coverage for these other buildings. Not my problem. Well, when the time came for me to leave those buildings, she basically was like, well, when do you get to just decide, like, when you're going to leave places and you still work for us? And it was sounding like slave to me because I get to decide what I do every day. Every day. So I was like, okay, well, then I'm just going to quit everywhere because you're like, she basically was like, not only were you talking to me as if you owned me, but then she also was basically making it sound like if I stayed at my third building, that she was going to make it harder for me. So I was like, yeah. So now instead of just leaving me alone and finding coverage for those 2 buildings, now you have to cover 3 buildings. It sucks. I like that job. I like the people there. They were kind of sad about me going, but whatever. So I'm starting 2 new jobs. They're both remote. Plus, I'll still be at the clinic. I'm actually super excited about this. One of them is a W-2 job. One of them is 1099. The 1099 is 24 hours a week. I could actually work more. Hopefully it'll like build up, but they both allow me the flexibility to be here or in the clinic. We're going into winter. This is like it's perfect. It's perfect. It's everything I want. I can work on building my psych patients up now that I have my PMHMP. I'm super excited. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Am I going to be making a little bit less money? Yes. But I try not to think about that because money is the root of all evil. Like, yes, I want to pay things off, but I'm making a good amount of money and I'm also happy. So, like, that's the priority. So, lots of life changes. I was working a lot this summer and it was starting to weigh on me. Like, every second of the day counted, and I don't like moving like that. If I would have kept my third building, I would have been very strained. So this is like, I wasn't going to be able to do that forever anyways. So it really was an easier bow out. She gave me an out and I took it. So yeah,